Thank you for coming to Magic Meets Masculinity. My name is Richard, and what my main focus is today is to give a brief overview on magic and how it can help men build a life that they're not only proud of, but feel a sense of fulfillment. I say a brief overview because a full overview would take hours and hours of explaining. It'd be much easier to break everything down into separate videos. So what is magic? In my opinion, magic is using the subconscious mind to manipulate the universal source code to increase synchronicities to bring about the intended effect that you want. Now, magic doesn't mean you can shoot fireballs from your hand, but you can do a money spell and go buy a 9mm and, shoot fireballs out down the range. But if you were also to throw one of those back into, let's say, the Crusades, it's definitely going to look like magic. A synchronicity is an event that happens that's seemingly connected to another. The vast majority of people write it off as a coincidence, but once enough of them happen in a short span of time, it becomes a statistical impossibility. This is the main vehicle magic works with in order to make these things happen. I would highly suggest reading about it in Maura Carr Young's book. So let's say, for example, this is an example of like a synchronicity. Like, think for yourself, man, I really need an extra $20. Then you're walking down the street and you hear somebody talking about how they need to get $20 as well. Then you walk into a restaurant, you see on TV, 20, you start seeing 20 everywhere. And all of a sudden, like, you're walking and you see a $20 bill, blowing in the wind. All these different synchronicities are linking up for you to find that $20 bill blowing in the wind. Now, that's just a small example, but as you start going through this path and you start writing these things down, you're going to start noticing that they happen a lot quicker and a lot more frequent. There are many different systems when it comes to magic: voodoo, hoodoo, Santeria, ceremonial magic, Wicca, and chaos magic. I personally think going with whatever you're culturally accustomed to is the best option, because your subconscious is already going to have familiarity with it. For example, I practice ceremonial and Christian-based magic because I have a European ancestry. But I also incorporated Mexican folk traditions because I grew up along the border. When I'm working with these systems, subconsciously, they are already deep within, they're already deep in there. And so when I'm looking and interpreting this information, it clicks. It just automatically comes to mind. There's no me sitting there trying to figure it out like a puzzle. There's none of that. It's already there, lurking right below the surface. Or, for example, using the Book of Psalms as spells. Growing up Christian, the Bible has always been the ultimate authority on everything. So when you use the Book of Psalms and you do a spell, I'm already thinking that my subconscious already acknowledges that this is authority and this is going to work, which makes magic work a lot easier because of you are having that faith in it. So there are some books that I'm going to suggest to get. You can get it off Amazon or anywhere. Modern Magic by Donald Michael Craig and The Magical Cash Book by Damon Brand. You could also pick up Magical Protection by Damon Brand. It's fairly good for what it is. If anything, you could grab any of the Gallery of Magics. They're kind of hit or miss for me personally, but I think these are two which would be a great start. They were very helpful for me, especially the Magical Cash Book, because, well, sometimes we all end up broke, right? And another thing about the Magical Cash Book, it actually kind of gives a lot of the different systems in a very simple way on how to get to work. It has you create your own magical book. It teaches you how to use symbols, corresponding colors, chants, and spirit work. So it has a little bit of all these things to work in order to get you, some extra cash around the house. So I think it's a very good crash course for that. Modern Magic is a course lesson in a book. It will take several months to get through it, especially in the beginning, because it will have you practicing one ritual for weeks on end. And that will be the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Basically, what that is, you will call down 4 angels to purify and banish all the negative psychic junk that is accumulated on you for your entire life. And it also lights you up like crazy on the astral plane, which connects you to your higher self. And this will go on for a few months. But the most important part of doing this ritual, other than the spiritual side of it, is it teaches you discipline. Once you get it down, it only takes about 10 minutes a day, but sometimes taking that 10 minutes will get pushed. Oh, like I just want to play this video game. I'll do it when I get done. I'll do it before I go to bed. I'll do it when I get home from work. Oh, I'm a little bit too tired. I'll wait a little bit to do it. Sometimes taking that little bit of a 10 minutes, sometimes it just doesn't happen. But just 10 minutes a day just to get you going in the right direction, right? However, before you get started on any of that, make sure yourself and your space is clean. If at all possible, try and make a space strictly for your magical workings. You wouldn't want to have someone over when you smell and your place is filled with clutter, would you? So why would you want to do the same to the divine? Learn how to visualize what is becoming in your ritual. Visualization is highly important because what you create in your mind, your subconscious brings into reality. Everything a man has ever created has started with the mind. All the things that we see around us that we think are mundane are magic. If you take a walk in Manhattan, you are surrounded by massive buildings. Every one of those started as a vision in someone's head that was made into reality. Steel, organization, backbreaking labor, that is all magic, because magic isn't something you do, but magic is something you are. We built rockets that took us to space. We can talk to someone on the other side of the world in just a couple clicks. And we have cured diseases that would have surely just killed others, 30, 40 years ago? All of this is magic. Magical rituals in itself are essentially scaffolding that build your internal temple, where eventually it's going to be so structured that you won't even need to do the rituals. Everything will just happen as if by magic. You don't need to do any of it. And people will look at you like the things happening around in your life are magic, because they can't comprehend why this is happening, because it makes no sense in the order that it's happening, because everybody expects things to be chaos in a certain kind of way. But they'll take notice because these things will happen far more frequently with you than it does for the average person. Get yourself a journal. Write down everything that happens. I personally write down the synchronicities because it keeps me a reminder that I'm going on the right path. There is no more powerful a man than a man that knows the direction he's going in, and the universe will help you along the way. God will help you along the way, whatever you want to call it. Personally, I think it's God. Things are hard for a lot of us right now, but I think we all got this. I believe in you. I believe in all of you. Through accountability and discipline, you can maintain a consistent magical practice. Once you go down this path, things will start happening, and there is no going back. Magic doesn't make your life easier. It makes it harder, because now that you are aware of this, you're now accountable for everything you do. In my opinion, accountability and responsibility is what separates the men from the boys. This is the moment where you take control. It doesn't matter how you were raised or how bad someone hurt you. It doesn't matter if society expectations forced you into morally compromising situations. None of these things matter, because you alone are responsible for the actions. When you die and reach the other side, you'll be the only one who will answer for them. Not your family, shitty ex-girlfriend, boss, or friends. Just you. I know you can do it because I'm doing it. And I've made mistakes. I've also tried to run from those mistakes. And the faster I ran, the harder they came back to haunt me. Until the day I started walking down this path and listening to what those mistakes were trying to teach me. Magic has allowed me to start putting these pieces together, and things got better. Definitely not easier. Heavens no, you're not easier. But the road started opening up when I took accountability. I sleep better at night knowing there's a great purpose to everything around me. As I stated in my prior video, I'm no expert, and my goal is to share what I've learned to other men. The most influential person for me is Jason Liv. I highly recommend going to his website, magick.me, and taking some of his courses. I also highly recommend the YouTube channels Mind and Magic and Foolish Fish. They've been excellent resources. Lastly, Damian Eccles. That man has been through literal hell and back. The difference between me and them is that I'm making my intention directly to helping men, where they're kind of doing a general overview to help everybody, which is great. I think that needs to be happening because a lot of people need help. I'm just choosing to be a little bit more direct with who I'm trying to teach this to. I don't also ever plan on going into extreme details about things because I want you all to come to your own conclusions. When you do decide to do magic, you have to forget what you've done because your conscious mind will block your subconscious. When you do the magic, you have to act as if it's already worked. Have faith because when you question the manifestation will manifest. But the best way I guess I can put it is to quote Jesus. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. One last book I want you to pick up is The Complete Golden Dawn by Israel Regardie. This comes with all the different teachings of the Golden Dawn rituals. Using this in tandem with modern magic will help you through your practice greatly. Now for tarot, the card is a magician. The magician represents the planet Mercury, the planet of communication and intellect. The card represents one connection between the material and the physical. When one draws this card, they have to explore the themes in their life that connect both of those. The Fool begins the journey, and then now he is the magician. I thank you once again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be a lot more content coming down the line now that I have things set up to dedicate time to this channel. And I will be posting a lot more and doing a lot more research. So once again, thank you. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week.